Yo friends, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. Disciplinary problems with Chelsea, lots of yellow cards, fighting, good and bad. We've been fined. Jackson is being investigated for a slap, apparently. I didn't know about that. Noni Madueke is good. And in this video I'm going to be using the X-value comparison matrix to show you actually how good Chelsea have been this season in comparison to other good teams, which is actually going to be a lot of fun, guys. So strap yourselves in, get comfortable. I'll thank you for joining me as always. It's lovely to see you here on the channel. And take just a little second and have a little listen to this. Yo, a big thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Manscaped is the global men's lifestyle brand that is revolutionizing the landscape of men's grooming. Today we're talking about the Dome Shaver Pro, which comes with some Suva lotion. Woohoo, what a lovely case it comes with. Check this out. Sleek, my friends. Look at the holder. Look at the hold action. This bad boy comes with 5 premium rotary blades which are optimized specifically for head shaving. I mean, it looks wicked. It doesn't matter if you're a newbie to shaving your head or a seasoned pro, you've got peace of mind while using this technology, because with these blades, you're less likely to get any cuts or nicks on your head, so you can just shave in peace. Get on with it, mate. Many of you are probably asking the question, so I'm going to answer it. Yes, it's fully waterproof, so you can jump in the shower with this bad boy, turn it on. Ooh, get it all done while you're having a shower. Let the small hairs run down the drain. No mess, mate. No mess, you're done. Superb. It's got a wicked little flex adjust action too. This is a proper piece of kit, mate. If you're a head shaver or you want to become a head shaver, this is a must-have. You're a lucky bunch, because if you go on manscaped.com and select the Dome Shaver Pro with the lotion, use code FT20, my code, you get 20% off and free shipping. 20% off and free shipping when you use my code FT20 at manscaped.com when selecting the Dome Shaver. Thanks, Manscaped. Go check it out, guys. Enjoy! Great stuff. What an ad. Go check out Manscaped. Link in the top of the description. Superb stuff, really. Alright, gang dem. As always, thanks for joining me. Have I done this plug yet? Like and subscribe. That's very kind of you to do that. Look, guys, firstly, let's do a little bit of good, shall we? A little bit of good to talk about Noni Madueke, who I think, oh, it's not there yet, so let's pop that up onto the screen for you guys. Now, as you can see here, Noni Madueke, here Chelsea Dodgers on X, said Noni Madueke had a total of 20 touches in the opposition box against Nottingham Forest yesterday, the most by any player in a single Premier League match this season. Now that is very good. Noni Madueke frustrated in the first half of that game yesterday. Of course, I've done a match review already. If you haven't watched that, feel free to go check it out. My previous upload. A frustrating player, but Noni Madueke is a guy that we've been speaking about a lot lately because he scored the hat-trick away at Wolves. He looked very good. He is a great player. He's a young player. How old is he? Like 22 years old, something like that. And he needs to, I think he's come a long way. He's matured a lot. I really think he's matured a lot. But the issue with Noni of late has been, I think, personally, he'll be looking at his attacking peers in Cole Palmer and Nico Jackson, who have recently been rewarded for their good performances with new long-term deals, right? Like, and with improved wages, and he'll be thinking, oh, I can get that as well. I've started the season well. But he's had a couple of wobbly games, and we've all been speaking about the spectre that's hanging out behind him. That is, of course, Pedro Neto, that scored in consecutive midweek games. And Pedro Neto is a baller, bro. This cannot be, overstated. He's an excellent player that would feature in genuinely every team in the world. And you probably couldn't say the same for Noni Madueke at the moment. What's keeping Noni Madueke in the side is his relationship with Cole Palmer, I think. Of course, they've been playing together for years and years and years at England youth level. They know each other's game. Of course, Cole Palmer got a hat-trick of assists when he was feeding Madueke against Wolves. And I don't know if that relationship is quite there with Pedro Neto. Maybe it could be. But they do play well together, and he is a good player, and he scored the goal yesterday. He was frustrating when I did my Instagram live. Of course, I do Instagram lives. or speaking on social media on Instagram there. Feel free to go follow me at Football Yannick. I was speaking about this, and at halftime everyone was like getting on the off, which I think was a little bit premature, although he was doing a few wayward shots. But he's going to get there, and he does deserve to remain in the A team at the moment. Hopefully he gets some minutes for England. Of course, Bukayo Saka's in scintillating form for Arsenal. I don't think he's going to start over him in competitive games at the moment. It would be nice for him to just play a bit, because Pedro Neto will be playing for Portugal. Let me know what you think about Noni at the moment, your thoughts. Let's move on. Alright, so for the last part of this video, in a moment, we're going to look at the stats, which is a bit of a fun comparison thing I want to do. But I do want to speak about this disciplinary issue. I'm going to be reading off the standard here. As you can see, Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson awaits FA decision for Nottingham Forest slap. It was a big brawl, it was. I'm going to read some of it to you now, and then we can discuss a little bit more broadly. Is there a problem? Chelsea fighting all the time? I actually quite like a lot of it. All the great Chelsea teams have always gone a bit of a scrap. Levi Colwill is always the first in, isn't he? And that's pretty, I think that's kind of positive in a lot of ways, captain material. He just, while it's awesome to have a Cole Palmer, when they all start brawling, he just sort of sat down like, Jesus Christ, do you know what I mean? He just wasn't involved, he just wants to play football. He's like, I'm not about this. He literally just sat on the floor while they all fought. Whereas Levi Colwill, straight in. But that's why you need both, I think. You need, Hazard wasn't a fighter either. You need that mercurial, joyful guy that just wants to be on the pitch, express himself, play football, create chances, make assists, score worldy free kicks, score penalties. That's Cole Palmer. You want a guy that's going to fight for your team and winning and not conceding and being a bit of a leader. It's Levi Colwill. I like it there. Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson could yet face retrospective action from the FA following his part in a brawl that erupted during Sunday's clash with Nottingham Forest. A feisty 1-1 Premier League draw at Stamford Bridge, in which the West Ham loanee James Ward-Prowse was sent off, which I think actually in retrospect was probably the worst thing that could have happened to Chelsea in that game, because I think we would have won had they kept 11 men. It's one of those rare instances where that's the case. It featured a furious late melee involving both sets of players, of course. Nico Williams had appeared to push Chelsea counterpart Marc Cucurella into Enzo Maresca, resulting in the Blues boss taking a tumble on the touchline. Players and staff from both sides were involved in a heated scuffle. That is the most English thing ever. What, did they have a punch-up? It was more of a heated scuffle. During which Jackson, who had already been substituted and joined in the brawl from the bench, let me at him, was seen appearing to raise a hand towards the face of Forest defender Morato. VAR officials did investigate the incident and at the time deemed Jackson not to be guilty of violent conduct, but he could still face retrospective action. I must say, I haven't seen this, and I think, no one was moaning about it. It was a little bit of handbags. Personally, I think if anything comes from... I mean, I haven't seen it. If he literally goes... Sorry, headphone warning. Sorry if I was in your ears. Hopefully there's a limiter on my audio here. That didn't be a really loud bang in your ears. Yeah, if it was a big slap like that, fair enough. But I didn't see it. No one's really talking about it. So it just seems like handbags and it should be waved away. Although Chelsea and Forest could also face FA charges for failing to control their players with ugly scenes at the bridge, with Chelsea fined £50,000 as a result of picking up 6 yellow cards in a game. And of course, we've already had that in Bournemouth, and we got 25 grand fine. Because it's happened again, it's doubled. We got to stop doing it. If it doubles every time, this will become a problem. Because, Enzo Maresca laughed it off like, it's not my money, I don't care, it's not my problem. Trust me, mate, if this hundreds of thousands becomes more and more and more, it will become your running problem, mate, because the owners are going to be like, hold on, mate, you're costing us millions of pounds in fines, which will be a huge, huge problem. I wonder if it counts for profit and sustainability rules. Probably not. If it doesn't, then they won't care so much. Yeah, that Bournemouth game as well, that record amount of cards in a single game, it still makes me laugh because I swear that wasn't heated at all, and we had record number of cards. And of course, really frustratingly, both Cucurella and Fofana got their 5th bookings of the season, which will rule them out for a trip to Anfield. which Maresca didn't seem to be all that cared about and bothered about, which is great because I'm bothered and scared about it. So for him to be quite chill, I mean, Wesley Fofana, Tosin comes in. I don't think anyone really minds for that. You know, I do feel like Fofana's got a much higher ceiling, but there's plenty in the Chelsea support that believe Tosin's played better than Fofana this season. Even if everyone's like, yeah, that relationship, that partnership between Fofana and Colwell is a thing of the future. There's been the odd wobbly moment from Fofana, which is totally expected. He's been out injured for an entire year and more or something. So Tosin coming in for him, like, that's fine. It's more Renato Vega almost certainly coming in for Cucurella, which is an interesting one. And how we're going to move about that. But Maresca doesn't seem to care. Anyway, is there a discipline problem? Probably a bit. I do like to see a bit of needle. I do like to see some fight. There's certainly been some Chelsea teams over the last 7 years maybe that have lacked it. I don't know. Or, yeah, thereabouts that have lacked it and looked a bit wet. So to bring that back in is great, but also you need to be careful. You need to show maturity. You know, you can fight and defend your team with maturity, but if you let that immaturity of the young, what is by far the youngest Premier League team in the league, we've looked at this recently, it's Bournemouth next, and then it's Chelsea way off by themselves in the youngest team in the league. All these senior teams, all these good teams have senior players. Chelsea are very, very young. So if that immaturity leaks into this fighting and scrapping, then it becomes a problem. Though I do like a good scrap. All right, let's have a bit of fun, shall we? Let me know what you think about the disciplinary issues and stuff. And let's use this comparison matrix thing then. Look, here we go. X value. I'm going to look at some good teams. I've got Arsenal here, so there's team overviews here, and I feel that it's really, really interesting to see how we play. Because there's a good like body of data now. There's enough games to look at and compare. So here we go. If you look at this team overview on the left-hand side here, it's a graph that shows Chelsea being represented by a blue line and Arsenal being represented by a green line. Now, yeah, this is kind of wild for a few reasons. Both have scored a lot of goals. Chelsea have scored more. Arsenal have conceded more goals than... Oh, no, Chelsea... Hold on. Goals conceded per night, Chelsea. So Chelsea have conceded more goals than Arsenal. So their defence is unsurprisingly better. Field tilt. Chelsea a little bit more. We play a little bit more on the ball, so a bit more up the pitch. And this is wild. Arsenal's average possession this season is under 50%. It's just over 49%. So they are going... Mikel Arteta is not... Like, he's not this disciple of Guardiola that everyone thinks he is. He's more like Mourinho. He's turning into a Mourinho. And that is shown by playing with a lot less possession. Obviously, we play with much more possession than them. They've conceded less... They concede more shots than us. That is not sustainable. Why is that flashing? Yeah, we concede 13.86 shots. I mean, is this per 90? Anyway, we concede more shots. Sorry, Arsenal concede more shots than Chelsea. That seems wild, right? Doesn't that seem wild? Maybe it's unsustainable and they're going to drop off. That would be nice. This is interesting. Long balls, Chelsea more than Arsenal. That can be like over the top. We have been very, very transitional actually. As much as Maresca wants to keep the ball and play slow build up, we've seen a lot of fast build up and long balls over the top. Chelsea running in behind. We saw it a million times versus Brighton. So it's clearly like a strength. Cole Palmer hitting one-time long balls over the top. So we've done more than Arsenal. The fact that we've got that much more possession than Arsenal. Unsurprisingly, they scored way more crosses than us, because we like to keep the ball on the deck, play through balls, through strikers, combinational play. They will absolutely put crosses into the box. I wonder if this includes corners, because they seem to get and score a lot of corners. And yeah, that's a really interesting indicator. Something on the right-hand side here, if you look at team composition, again, Arsenal being green. Chelsea very strong or dominant more in the player styles of all-round finisher, build-up indicator, roaming playmaker. Very dominant. So 1-to-1 explorer, I guess that's going to be Bukayo Saka. Oh, there you go. So our 1-to-1 explorers are Noni Madueke and Cole Palmer. They have a lot. They've got 3. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and Leandro Trossard. He's kind of like a dribbly boy as well, even though he plays centrally. This I wanted to see. So chance creator, we've only got Cole Palmer, a little bit of Gusto. There's a little bit others there. I don't know why our bar looks small, because that's much more than them. Anyway, one thing I did want to show you is Target Man. Because they score loads of goals from crosses. There's loads of crosses, high volume. So who's that going to be? And yes, from, mercurial floaty attacker to bread and butter, meat and potatoes Target Man, it's Kai Havertz. Oh, there is. I don't want to analyse him. So much more than Chelsea there. All right, let's just look at one more other good team, shall we? We could look at Liverpool maybe, or Man City. I do think Liverpool is probably a good idea, because we're facing them next after the international break. Wow. Okay, yeah. So Liverpool, as you can see here on the left-hand side, are very, very good so far. Yes, they've faced a lot easier teams, but this is what we're hoping to grow into. Now, quite interestingly, it's a very similar shaped chart. So they're like a better version of us, essentially, except we've, of course, scored more goals, probably inflated by, like, the, Brighton and Wolves and West Ham games. We scored more goals, but in terms of a consistent style of play, that's kind of what we're aspiring to be. They'll probably want to score a few more goals and reach us, but yeah, similar style. Neither of us put crosses in, so like the opposite of Arsenal in that sense. They take a higher volume of shots, which is good. They have a very strong field tilt, which is good. They're just really dominant. Loads of the ball, very strong field tilt. Goals conceded, their defense is much better than ours. Per 90, they concede less than 0.3. So we really need to sort out that defense of ours. And they just concede no shots, bro. So their defense is essentially way better than ours. They do play long balls as well, and that is, as you can imagine, Alisson or Konate, Van Dijk getting the likes of Jota, Salah on the run, Cody Gakpo, Diaz, just running in transition. And they've been very, very, very good, So we're kind of, at the moment, trying to play like Liverpool. I don't think Enzo Maresca's... We expected Maresca to be like this shape initially. We thought he'd be way more methodical, slow build up, but it's been more like transitional balls over the top, strong. So yeah, they're kind of like a grown-up version of Chelsea, and that is every sense of the word, because Chelsea are by far the youngest squad in the league, and Liverpool are like I swear they're like one of the 4th oldest teams in the league. So they've literally just like a mature version of us in the stats as well as the age profile. Nice to see Chelsea are the entertainers though, scoring loads of goals. I found that really, really interesting, comparing ourselves to their... I mean, should we do Man City quickly just while we're here? Because many of you might be thinking about it as well. Is Man City or Man United? Man City. Wow. Look at that. This is weird. So they do no long balls at all. That's really interesting. So they are very for tiki-taka, mate. What a weird shaped graph. They don't concede any shots. They've conceded 8, which is incredible. Goals conceded. They're the same as us, bang on as us. So they've been probably quite unlucky because they concede no shots, but the shots they do concede, they seemingly go in. Massively dominant with possession, which, again, that makes sense. Massively dominant with field tilt, playing in the opposition third. High volume of shots, way more than us. Their finishing isn't as good as us because their goals are only ever so slightly more, despite their shots being incredibly high. So they're very, very we're very, very clinical. They just take a high volume of shots. I don't know, look at all this, and it's there for us, If we can just mature a little bit, all this kind of stuff looks really, really positive to me, man. So, kind of feeling good about it. Let me know what you think. Please do comment down below. I can't wait to read your comments. Thank you for supporting the content as always. You can do so simply by liking and subscribing. Do go check out that Manscaped offer if you want to go and get the dome shaver for all you bald kings out there, or just shaving head kings. Check it out. Yeah, man. See you soon. Mwah. Peace.